All right, picture this. You've been staring at a completely blank screen for an hour. You're on your third cup of coffee, and you're still wondering how on earth you're going to transform a raw idea into a polished final product. If that sounds familiar, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're walking through a fascinating blueprint for a complete AI-assisted creation workflow. We'll be looking at the exact steps to go from zero to a finished piece using artificial intelligence as your co-pilot. Okay, let's dive into this.
So it's the ultimate modern question, right? Can artificial intelligence truly just do it all? We've all felt that absolute paralysis. You have this brilliant concept floating around in your head, but the actual execution feels like a massive chasm. If we just hand the wheel over to an AI, can it magically drive us all the way to a finished product? Throughout this entire glowing digital pipeline, we're going to uncover the real secret to premium content, which is the human advantage.
To figure this out, here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll look at the reality of the blank screen dilemma. Then, we'll move into creating the blueprint, focusing on ideas and scripts. Third, we'll explore the production phase for visuals and editing. And finally, the final truth. Spoiler alert, AI does not equal magic.
Let's start right at the beginning with part 1, the blank screen dilemma, starting from zero. This is that initial struggle every creator faces before even touching the tech.
So here's the reality of starting from absolutely zero. You sit down at your premium desk setup, maybe you've got those cool blue and teal LED lights going, that expensive clicky mechanical keyboard, and what do you actually have to show for it? Well, an empty notebook, a totally blank script, an empty thumbnail canvas, and an empty editing timeline. Doing every single piece of this manually, the brainstorming, the deep dive research, the writing, the recording, the editing, and the packaging, it can take days, honestly, sometimes weeks. It's this massive mountain to climb, and let's be real, it's exactly where most great ideas just kind of fizzle out and die.
Now, what's really interesting about this step-by-step workflow is how it functions as a masterclass inside a futuristic creator experiment. We're going to flow logically through idea and research, straight into script and voice, down into visuals and editing, and finally the thumbnail and publish stage. We are taking that massive mountain and breaking it down into a high-speed assembly line.
Which brings us to our first major phase of this co-pilot dance, Part 2, the blueprint, focusing on ideas and scripts.
The whole process kicks off with a prompt. You ask the AI for, say, 10 beginner-focused ideas. And you know what? The AI does its job incredibly well. It synthesizes multiple tabs of information in literally seconds. But here's the catch. The human side of this is non-negotiable. Sure, AI might spit out a totally generic topic like how to save money. But you, the human creator, you know your specific audience actually needs something way more targeted, like how a freelance designer budgets for unpredictable taxes. AI gives you the raw materials, right? But the human has to ground them in empathy and real lived experience. The AI organizes the research, but you've got to verify those facts. Because, as we've all seen, AI can and will just confidently invent things totally out of thin air.
Next up is the script. You ask the AI to build a strong structure with clear sections, and the draft it spits out is fast, like really fast, and brilliantly outlined. But a raw AI script almost always sounds like a high school textbook. Technically correct? Sure, but painfully dry. It uses words like furthermore and delve way too much. The human edit is where the actual magic happens. You take that super fast outline and you strip out all that robotic jargon. You throw in a conversational joke, maybe a relatable sigh, or just your own unique cadence. The AI provides the structural lumber, but you actually build the house. You provide the soul that makes it watchable.
Let's move forward and see how this builds as we enter Part 3, the production, visuals, and editing. This is where the sights and sounds actually come together.
Now we're actually turning that script into a full sensory experience. AI can rapidly generate voice samples and these incredible futuristic visual shots, like a glowing blue interface or a sweeping cinematic desk shot. But again, the human's job here is paramount. You have to ensure the audio is not just clear, but properly and legally licensed. You absolutely cannot just imitate real people or celebrities without permission. No way. On top of that, the human has to make sure every single scene has a clear visual purpose. An AI, it might just slap a generic video of a crowd on screen because the script happened to say the word people. But a human editor, they choose a specific emotionally resonant shot that perfectly matches the exact mood of the story.
Once you've got all that raw audio and video, you hit the editing timeline. And I really want you to absorb this quote.
Good editing's secret isn't flashy effects, it's sound and timing. AI can do the basic audio cleanup and chop out all the dead air in seconds. But that final cut, the slight comedic pause before a punchline, the decision to let a really heavy emotional moment linger in complete silence for 3 whole seconds, or keeping the background music balance just perfectly below the voice, those are storytelling decisions based purely on human feeling, and you just can't automate feeling.
As we get near the finish line, this whole thing needs to be packaged. You prompt the AI to brainstorm, say, 10 titles and maybe 3 high-contrast thumbnail concepts, and the AI is going to give you fantastic options almost instantly. But here's the thing. AI lacks taste. Taste means understanding the really delicate balance of human psychology. The human's job is to look at those options and select the cleanest, most accurate one that actually delivers on the promise you're making to the viewer, rather than just mathematically stuffing a title with highly searched keywords.
Which leads us perfectly to this mantra: curious, not clickbait. AI is notoriously eager to please, which means it will readily suggest a thumbnail that absolutely screams, "This will make you a millionaire overnight." That final human check is what forces realism. When you review the AI suggestions, you are the one ensuring the content remains trustworthy. The final package should definitely invoke genuine curiosity, absolutely, but it always has to be grounded in realism and honesty. All right, part 4. The final truth: AI does not equal magic. We've gone from a totally blank screen to a fully assembled project, so it's time to bring this explainer to its philosophical climax and answer our original question. So the crucial point is this: AI is not magic. Just 20 minutes ago in our workflow, we were staring at a totally blank screen, and now we have a complete, polished product. But the AI didn't automatically make the content for you. It didn't just push some magic button and spit out perfection. What it actually did was act as this incredibly fast, tireless assistant. It accelerated all the tedious parts of the process so you could focus purely on the creative parts.
And I think this beautifully illustrates the ultimate co-pilot partnership you need for a truly premium workflow. AI brings speed, rapid drafting, and raw generation to the table, but the human? The human brings taste, personality, ethics, quality control, and pacing. When you combine them, you don't get replaced by a machine. Instead, you get a significantly better, vastly more efficient workflow where you are still very much the director of the show.
To put it plainly, these are the responsibilities you simply cannot offload to a machine. Topic selection based on real audience needs, because only you truly know your community. The art of storytelling, which requires real human empathy. True originality, like connecting 2 wildly different concepts that a predictive language model just wouldn't normally associate. Rigorous fact-checking, because, as we established, AI will confidently lie to your face. And of course, that final quality control before you hit publish. These human elements are exactly what elevate your content from feeling like generic, automated output to a premium, highly engaging experience.
We've traced this entire glowing digital pipeline today. So I want to leave you with a question to reflect on for your own workflow. If you were starting a brand new project right now, which stage of creation would you use AI for first? Would you use it to conquer that dreaded blank screen and generate ideas? Would you use it to draft a script, speed up your editing timeline, or maybe brainstorm some thumbnail concepts? Think about where a digital copilot could accelerate your unique process. But remember, you are the one bringing the magic. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.